Interconfederation Playoff. 6 teams will feature at the Interconfederation Playoff. One from Africa, whoever wins tonight between Nigeria and the Leopards of DR Congo, then we will join the remaining 5 teams. We have one from Africa, as I said, 2 from CONCACAF. We have one from South America, that's Bolivia. Bolivia have already qualified for the playoff. There's also one from Oceania, that's New Caledonia, they've already qualified. I'm talking about Asia, one will also qualify from Asia. And then looking at the teams that will qualify from Asia, we saw Iraq and United Arab Emirates. They played a 1-0 draw in the first round, in the first leg of the playoff, in the first leg of their own playoff. They played a 1-0 draw. So the second leg of the Asian playoff will be played on November 16th. So in all, 6 teams will participate at the Interconfederation Playoff to pick the eventual 2 winners from the playoff that will go to the World Cup. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria have to win tonight. They have to start tonight by winning against DR Congo. I'm talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They had a fantastic performance against Gabon in our last match. They had a fantastic extra time. The first half of the match ended goalless. The second half ended 1-1 and it stretched into extra time. And then when they go to extra time, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were clinical, scoring 3 goals in extra time of the match, and they won the match emphatically by 4 goals to 1. So we have another match against DR Congo tonight. I'm talking about DR Congo. To get to this stage of the playoff, they defeated the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in a match in which the indomitable Lions of Cameroon they had chances. They had their own chances, but then DR Congo were really disciplined and they were solid defensively, and when they had the opportunity to score, they scored in the stoppage time of the match. And so their captain, Chancel Mbemba, scored for them. I'm talking about their captain, Chancel Mbemba. The last time the Super Eagles of Nigeria played DR Congo in a friendly match, that was in 2015. It was one of those that played for DR Congo in that match. DR Congo defeated Nigeria in that particular match by 2-0. That was in 2015. It was a friendly match, and their captain, Chancel Mbemba, was part of the squad that played against Nigeria then. Talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and DR Congo, the last time they played each other was in 2018. That was the last time they played the match against each other. And the match ended in a 1-0 draw between the 2 teams. It ended 1-1 between the 2 teams. I'm talking about head-to-head record between Nigeria and DR Congo. In the last 6 meetings between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Leopards of DR Congo, the Super Eagles have recorded 2 wins over DR Congo, while DR Congo have recorded 3 wins over Nigeria, and there has been 1 draw between them. And then the Super Eagles of Nigeria are ranked 41 in the world, while DR Congo are ranked 60 in the world. And to get to this playoff, to get to the African playoff, DR Congo were in Group B. They finished second in Group B behind Senegal. They finished with 22 points. Senegal finished with 24 points from that group, from Group B, and Senegal picked the sole ticket or the automatic ticket to the World Cup from the group. But for DR Congo, they finished as runners-up with 22 points from Group B. And then talking about DR Congo, in the World Cup qualifiers, they won 7 matches, they drew 1 match, and they lost 2 matches out of 10 matches. And then they scored a total of 15 goals and conceded 6 goals. That's talking about DR Congo. But for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we all know they finished from Group C behind the Bafana of South Africa. Super Eagles finished with 17 points behind South Africa. And then Super Eagles of Nigeria, they won 4 matches, drew 5 matches, and lost 1 match. And they scored a total of 15 goals and conceded 8 goals. That's talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers. And then we really have a match today. What the match is going to be, what a cracker of a match is going to be. The Super Eagles of Nigeria were the USA 94 World Cup. They were the France 98 World Cup. They were the Korea-Japan World Cup in 2002. They were the World Cup in South Africa in 2010. They were the World Cup in Brazil in 2014. And they were the World Cup in Russia in 2018. So this time around, they couldn't make the World Cup in Qatar. But this time around, are they going to qualify for the World Cup, for the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico? Are they going to be in North America for the World Cup? Only time will tell. I'm talking about time. It will start from tonight by 8 p.m. Nigeria time at the Moulay Azam Stadium. That's where the match will be played in Rabat, Morocco. Moulay Azam Stadium in Rabat, Morocco. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on the Leopards of DR Congo. And looking at the current form of these 2 teams, looking at the current form, for Nigeria, let's take a look at Nigeria's current form. Talking about our matches, our last 5 matches in terms of the current form of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In the last 5 matches the Super Eagles have played, they've won 4 and they have drawn 1. And I'm going to read out the matches. Our last match was against Gabon and we defeated Gabon 4-1. Before that, we played against Benin Republic and we defeated Benin Republic 4-0. That's talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We also met Lesotho. We played against Lesotho. In Lesotho, it was an away match and we defeated them 2-1 away from home. We also met against the Bafana of South Africa. We played against them away from home in South Africa and the match ended in a 1-1 draw. And then we played against Rwanda. We played against Rwanda in Nigeria here and we defeated them by 1-0. So that's talking about the current form of the Super Eagles. In 5 matches, in our last 5 matches, we have won 4 and we have drawn 1. Now looking at DR Congo, looking at the form of DR Congo, Leopards of DR Congo, in their last 5 matches, they have won 4 and they have lost 1. I'm going to in November 13, that was 2 days ago, they played against Cameroon and they defeated the indomitable Lions of Cameroon by 1-0. Then on October 14, they played against Sudan and they defeated Sudan. That was in the World Cup qualifier. They defeated Sudan 1-0. Then on October 10, in another World Cup qualifier, they defeated Congo 1-0 away from home. Then on September 9, in another World Cup qualifier, they lost to Senegal. They lost to Senegal by 3-2. And on September 5, in another World Cup qualifier, they defeated South Sudan by 4-1. That was an away match, and they defeated South Sudan by 4-1. So that's the current form of DR Congo. That's talking about their current form. In their current form, in their last 5 matches, they have won 4 and they have lost 1. Now looking at the head-to-head, let's look at the head-to-head record between Nigeria and DR Congo. Earlier, I made mention of the fact that talking about the head-to-head record between Nigeria and DR Congo, they've met in the last 6 meetings between the two sides. DR Congo have recorded 3 wins over the Super Eagles, while Super Eagles have recorded 2 wins over DR Congo, and there has been a draw between them. So let's look at the matches they played. They met each other first in 1966. That's talking about the Super Eagles and DR Congo. And in 1966, Nigeria defeated DR Congo 3-2. In 1966, 3-2. Then in 1966 as well, 1966, that was 26th of November, DR Congo and Nigeria. DR Congo defeated Nigeria 1-0. Then they also met, they met 3 times in 1966. They also met in December in 1966, where DR Congo defeated Nigeria 1-0. And they met in 2010. They met on March 2010, where Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, defeated DR Congo 5-2. And they met the last time, and okay, they met in 2015 as well. That was in an international friendly match where Nigeria lost to DR Congo by 2-0. And the last time they met was in 2018, where the two teams played a 1-1 draw with each other. So in the last 6 meetings between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Leopards of DR Congo, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have recorded 2 wins over DR Congo, while DR Congo have recorded 3 wins over the Super Eagles, and there has been a draw between them. Now let's look at some players to watch out for in DR Congo. Let's look at some of their players. First of all, earlier I made mention of their captain, Chancel Mbemba. I'm talking about their captain. He plays for their captain plays as a defender, of course, and then he scored the winning goal in their last match against Cameroon. That's talking about their captain. He scored the winning goal in their last match against Cameroon, and he plays for Ligue 1 club Lille in France. That's talking about Mbemba. And then we also have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Remember the former Manchester United man. That's talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the former Manchester United man. Now he plays for West Ham United, of course, as a right back. His debut for DR Congo in September 2025. That was when he made his debut for DR Congo in a 4-1 win over South Sudan national football team. That was when Aaron Wan-Bissaka made his debut for DR Congo. And then that's about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They also have Theo Bungonda. Talking about Theo Bungonda, he plays for Sparta Moscow. He plays for Sparta Moscow in Russia. And then in the World Cup qualifier, he scored a crucial goal for them against Sudan. And that match was really crucial. So he scored a crucial goal for them. They won that match by 1-0, and he scored a crucial goal for them in the match. He scored a really good for them. And in the World Cup qualifiers, Theo Bongonda, beg your pardon, Theo Bongonda has scored 2 goals for DR Congo in the World Cup qualifiers. And they also have Unga Ayel Mukau, who plays for Lille as well, and he plays as a central midfielder for DR Congo. They have Ato Maswaka, who plays for Sunderland, and he plays as a defender for DR Congo. And they have Excel Twanzebe. Talking about Twanzebe, he plays for Burnley FC. And then in the World Cup qualifiers, he has already featured in 9 games for DR Congo in the World Cup qualifiers. That's talking about Twanzebe. And then the coach of DR Congo is Sebastian Dizabre. That's the name of the coach of DR Congo. And then let's explain their players furthermore. They also have Umpasi, who is their goalkeeper. They have Kayembe, there's Umbemba, I mentioned him earlier, there's Mutusami, there's Swanzebe, I also mentioned him earlier, there's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, there's Umbuku, there's Pikel, there's Sadiku, there's Bakambu, who has already scored 4 goals for them in the World Cup qualifiers. This man has already scored 4 goals for DR Congo in the World Cup qualifiers. And of course, they have Theo Bongonda as well. So these are the players of the DR Congo national team. And then looking at how Nigeria lined up in our last match against Gabon, this was the way we lined up. In goal, we had Stanley Nwabali, and of course in defense we had Osai Samuel, there was Benjamin Frederick, there was Calvin Bassey, and there was Zaidu Sanusi. In midfield, we have Wilfred Ndidi, we have Iwobi as well, and then up front we have Chukwueze, Akpo Adams, Lukman, and Victor Osimhen. And how about the goal from Akpo Adams? That was a clinical and a well-taken goal by Akpo Adams. So this was the way we lined up in our last match against Gabon. And then looking at DR Congo, looking at Democratic Republic of Congo. I said earlier, they were in Group B, and in Group B they finished second behind Senegal. Senegal finished first and picked the sole ticket for the World Cup from the group. DR Congo finished second with 22 points. They also had Sudan in that same group. Sudan finished with 13 points. There was also Togo in the same group with 8 points. Mauritania finished with 7 points. South Sudan in the same group finished with 5 points. And look at the matches DR Congo played in the World Cup qualifiers. Their first match was against Mauritania, and they defeated Mauritania 2-0. Their second match was against Sudan, and they lost to Sudan by 1-0. That's talking about DR Congo. They actually lost their second match to Sudan by 1-0. Their third match was against Senegal, the Teranga Lions of Senegal, and they played a 1-0 draw with Senegal in their third match. Their fourth match was against Togo, and they defeated Togo by 1-0. In their fifth match, they defeated South Sudan by 1-0. In their sixth match, they defeated Mauritania by 2-0. And in their seventh match, they defeated South Sudan by 4-1. In their eighth match, they lost to Senegal by 3-2. And in their ninth match, they defeated Togo 1-0. And in their 10th match of the World Cup qualifiers, they defeated Sudan 1-0. And in the playoff, they defeated Cameroon by 1-0. So these are the matches they have played so far. That's talking about Leopards of DR Congo. Earlier, I was talking about the captain of DR Congo. That's Chancellor Mbemba. I was talking about him. I said he played against Nigeria in our last match, in the friendly match in 2015. We played a friendly match with DR Congo in 2015. DR Congo actually defeated Nigeria in that match by 2-0. And the captain, Chancellor Mbemba, played for DR Congo in that match. And in the last fight they played against Cameroon, the one that was played on November 13, that was on Thursday, he made his 100 appearance for DR Congo. So he had himself a historic milestone by making his 100 appearance for DR Congo in that match. So that was his 100th international cap for DR Congo. That's talking about their captain, Chancellor Mbemba. In their last match against the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, he made his 100 appearance for DR Congo. That's talking about their captain, Chancellor Mbemba. Now, looking at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, looking at the matches we played in the World Cup qualifiers, Our first match was against Lesotho, and we played a 1-1 draw with them. Our second match was against Zimbabwe. We played a 1-1 draw with Zimbabwe. Our third match was against South Africa, Bafana of South Africa, and we played a 1-1 draw with South Africa. Our fourth match was against Benin Republic, and Benin Republic defeated us by 2-1. Our fifth match was against Rwanda. We defeated Rwanda away from home by 2-0. Our sixth match was against Zimbabwe, and we played a 1-1 draw with Zimbabwe. Our seventh match was against Rwanda, again in Nigeria here, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Rwanda 1-0. Our eighth match was against South Africa, Bafana of South Africa, away from home, and we played a 1-0 draw with South Africa away from home. Our ninth match in the World Cup qualifiers was against Lesotho away from home, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Lesotho 2-1 away from home. And our 10th match in the World Cup qualifiers was against Benin Republic, and we defeated Benin Republic by 4-0 at the Godswill Apartment Stadium in Uyo to qualify for the playoffs. So that was our last match, and that was the match that earned us the ticket to the African playoff. So that was our last match. Nigeria 4, Benin 0. And of course, in our last match, I'm talking about the playoff now. In the semi-final, we played against Gabon in the semi-final. We defeated them by 4-1. That was our last match. And then against Gabon, against Gabon, like it was really impressive. It was almost stunning for me because the first half of the match ended goalless. That's talking about in Gabon. We had a couple of chances in the first half that we couldn't score. We missed those chances and it ended goalless. But we had a good first half actually. We had a good first half against Gabon. Then in the second half, we saw Akpo Adams capitalizing on the mistake by the player from Gabon, and he scored that goal clinically, like it was really a clinical goal. At that moment, we needed that goal, and he scored that goal. And when we thought that we were going to wrap it up with a 1-0 victory, what happened? The Super Eagles of Nigeria actually, it was a deflected goal. A deflection by a deflected goal anyway. So they actually allowed, let me just say, don't let me use the word allowed. Gabon equalized when we thought that we were going to win, when we thought that we had won, and we were walking away with a 1-0 victory. Gabon equalized. And towards the end of the match, Victor Osimhen also had a chance, and he also missed the chance. And so we were headed into the extra time, and you could imagine, you can actually imagine what was the tension heading into the extra time. No one expected what happened in the extra time at all. We didn't expect it, especially looking at the fact that we missed some chances in the normal time of the match. We missed some chances, so nobody expected that. And then we saw a different Super Eagles team entirely in the second half, in the extra time. They were clinical. They were so precise with the way they took their goals. They were so clinical. And even Victor Osimhen that missed some chances earlier was even more technical with the goals he scored this time around. He scored more technical goals this time around. So overall, they had a very impressive extra time. No one saw that extra time performance by the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we actually wanted to replicate the same form today against DR Congo, because when we watched the match between DR Congo and Cameroon, we saw that Cameroon had a lot of chances. They actually had chances. What did DR Congo do? They soaked the pressure. They really soaked the pressure. And when they had the chance, they just took their chance and they scored. And then they were really disciplined defensively. I'm talking about DR Congo. In the World Cup qualifiers, they've conceded 6 goals. DR Congo in the World Cup qualifiers have conceded 6 goals. That's not too much in 10 goals. It's not really too much in 10 goals. So they've been disciplined defensively, and they showed that discipline against Cameroon, because the indomitable Lions of Cameroon had their chances. But then DR Congo, when it was time for them to score, they took their chance. They were solid. They were disciplined defensively. They were really solid. So that's one thing to watch out for. And don't forget that they have a captain in Chancellor Mbemba, who is a very disciplined man and who has the experience for them. He has had his 100 caps. He has 100 caps already for DR Congo, so he's there as well. Talking about their captain, Chancellor Mbemba. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria must just, bring in their A game in today's match, maintain the tempo. Or should I even say they can even raise it? Yes, they can even raise the tempo. Like, they can even raise it, and then go out against DR Congo, because we really have to win this match. And if they win this match, as it is now, they might just have to play only one match at the Interconfederation Cup. If they win this match, if they win against DR Congo today, all they may have to do at the Intercontinental Playoff or the Interconfederation Playoff is just one match, and then they just do one match to the World Cup. You can imagine. And so they have to win this match today. They should just go out there and give in their best, bring in their A game. And I know that most of these players want to be at the World Cup. Victor Osimhen wants to be at the World Cup. He has never played at the World Cup, and this means a lot to him. And most of the players too, this means a lot to them. Now let's look at the African countries that have already qualified for the World Cup. We have Egypt, Senegal, South Africa, Cape Verde making their debut, Morocco, Ivory Coast, Algeria, Tunisia, and Gabon. These are the African countries that have already qualified for the World Cup. And then looking at the other countries as well, we have Canada, Mexico, and United States. Of course, they are the co-hosts. We have Australia, Iran, Japan, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Uzbekistan from Asia. These are Asian countries who have already qualified for the World Cup. We have